We think that if the dollar and interest rates keep going down, that will make things easier for 9 months. We don't know yet if it will push it out longer than we thought, but it clearly doesn't feel like the end of the cycle will be this year. Every cycle is different, yet they are all the same. It seems like a lot of the comments that are pouring in right now are just showing the scar tissue from the last cycle that we all felt. When will XRP's price reach its highest point? This is the most common question I get on this channel. How much will XRP cost? When will this happen, do you think? How do we make the most of this? I get asked these things every day, a lot of times. And today we have Raoul Pal and Jamie Coots, who are going to go through this together to give us some very useful information about this bull run, past cycles, and, as they said, the scar tissue from the last cycle and how that's affecting how things are going to play out this time. Please hit that like button so that everyone can see the video. Let's get started. I believe only at the top level. You know, everyone always wants to be sure. Is it finished yet? Are we all going to die? What is going to happen? Am I still using the wrong tokens? There's a lot of dread in the space, and a lot of hand-holding needs to be done. So I assume we start at the top, like, where the hell are we? Yes. Okay, let's speak about the psychology of the market. I believe that each cycle is unique, yet the same. It seems like a lot of the comments that are pouring in right now are showing the scars from the last cycle that we all felt. I agree. It's now a 4-year cycle. This is when it has to stop. So it will. The last cycle was like to the moon forever, because no one was watching it, or no one really, well, there were people like you who were really getting a solid hold on it, and it was quite early. No, I failed in the prior cycle also, since I assumed there was still another leg to go, so yes. Yes. So I guess everyone has sort of cut this cycle short. And for good reason. There are frameworks that say things should start to peak around this time, but we haven't had the usual business cycle, and not many people do the business cycle analysis that you and Julian do. That framework that supports everything at Real Vision and GMI is sadly missing in other places. But it just seems like it's a mechanical reaction to the market, like this is when we should be at our peak. And it's been fun to watch what others are saying on Twitter and other places, and even among our members here, you know, is the top in. So, yes, I'm always interested in how market psychology works and how it shows up in the market. I also think it's fascinating that everyone is quite aware of the liquidity cycle right now and how that will affect the future, even though we think we still have more to go. And all those things are kind of unknowns, but I believe the foundation we have here makes it pretty clear that we have more to do. I have to explain about my Bitcoin cycle risk theory and the topping signs I've been making. I mean, they're not yelling at me, which is great. There are clearly, definitely, and I made this point very clear in my last report, Raoul, signs of trend weariness in the Bitcoin chart, and a decline in the fundamentals as well. But I think that's more of a result of ETH's move into higher beta crypto. The fact that Bitcoin's dominance is going down, which is normal for this time of year, right? Yes. Yes. That change really started in the second quarter, but it was quite clear by July, when I was on paternity leave, that it had happened. I could see it in the on-chain data for Bitcoin, the ETF movements between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and, of course, the price action. And it fits in very well with the time in the crypto market when Bitcoin was the most popular coin and high-quality altcoins were the best. It's not like the dash for trash market we saw in 2021 when people were getting stimulus checks. It's more like a high-quality alt-season run right now. That's about where I am right now. And when we talk about the high-quality alt-season, I want to know what you're thinking. Quality layer ones, projects that make money, and a few huge items that get people's notice no matter what they are, that don't make money or anything else but get people's attention. You know, Hyperlink is one of them, and maybe Athena is another. We can clearly see Sui and Solana. How do you anticipate this next phase will go? And what kinds of tokens will be involved? Yes, I like how you made that very obvious what actually counts. You know, cash flows are there. There are protocols that are fundamentally solid, which means they have cash flows, they can be used, they provide utility, and their tokenomics are really powerful. There are a few of such, and the market is rewarding them as it should. I've always thought that as the asset class gets bigger and more sophisticated new investors come in, they'll pay more and more attention to the fundamentals. That's always been my main idea. And I think that's what is happening. I mean, you said that Hyperliquid makes a lot of money, like the kind of cash flow that would make a NASDAQ 100 firm look like water in terms of growth. I know we're not talking about the same thing, but for Hyperliquid, it's trading on a revenue multiple that would put it in the middle of the pack for tech stocks in the S&P. But it's the L1s, the DeFi protocols, and the high-quality tokens. And yes, the things that will get people's attention because they aren't going away. Memes are not going anywhere. Actually, I'm starting to think of my first meme stance, which we may talk about later. The Doge ETF starts tomorrow, by the way. So, by the time this comes out, it will have already debuted, which is fantastic. That was the one I was going to write down. So, no, I don't think so. It's a much more selective market. And you don't see the broad rally. I think we're still in the early stages of this kind of expanding out, or alt season, as the saying goes. But this rally is going to be very picky until the finish, when there will be short-term pumps and little caps, very small caps that don't fit in with the product market, and will start to run. And that's on my list of things to look for during a market peak. And we aren't there yet. And so you heard it right there. That's what you should be on the lookout for. When things stop making sense, and projects that aren't producing anything or building anything useful start to go up, you need to look for them. In this cycle, we are so far from that. Some people would say that some of the things that are happening in Pump Fund could be that. I now believe that this will not last long. There isn't much going on there. It just feels like it's taking money out of the system. It's only a diversion. We're talking about these tiny cap enterprises going berserk like they did in 2021. We also need to keep an eye on the Federal Reserve and the central banks throughout the world. Even though it's possible that this won't happen, they're still making money. They still want to decrease interest rates much further. That's what I think is the most crucial thing to pay attention to. In my opinion, it's quite evident what the crypto market is going to go through here. More rate cuts, more money in circulation, and more individuals buying currency mean more people are buying it. So all we have to do is wait and see when the Fed decides to tighten its policies or become more bearish on them and stop printing money. And that's going to help us figure out when to do different things. If you want to get updates on everything I'm doing on the markets, including my daily thoughts, you can join my free crypto trading group. It's the best free crypto trading group in the world, and I also post all my trades there. So you can see what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Signing up is very easy. To join BTCC, all you have to do is sign up here. My connection for the exchange is LeviCryptoCrusaders.com. Click here, sign up, make a deposit, and then input your name, email, and exchange user ID to get into my Discord and Telegram. You can join whatever one works best for you. I can't wait for you all to be in there because that's where the magic happens. That's where I put all my trades. That's how we make between 100% and 400% every month without fail. If you like what you see, hit that like button. I'll see you all later. Goodbye, typed by turboscribe.ai. To get rid of this message, go to Unlimited.